Welcome to Blissful Living, a podcast for those of us who are ready to ditch the life clutter and negative vibes so that we can embrace our true potential and live our best lives. I'm Ashlina Caposta, an interior designer, blogger, author, and most recently a new mom doing my best to figure out how to balance it all and follow my bliss. Welcome back to another episode of the Bliss Vibe Only podcast, where I do everything I can to help you and inspire you to get back to a vibration of bliss, because in this state of bliss, that's where the miracles happen, right? Again, my name is Ashlina. For those of you who have not hung out with me before, it's so nice to meet you, and I appreciate you coming to hang out in my sacred space. This podcast is like my soul conversation. And I decided to record today's episode on Sunday because I just feel like Sundays are the most soulful day of the week for me. Of course, you can have like every day be a very spiritual, soulful day, but I think it's just kind of programmed into us that Sundays, we're at the end of our week, we're resting, it's just reflection time, and we really can quiet ourselves and go within and prepare for an awesome Monday. So that's why I just may start recording these on Sunday or publishing them on Sunday. I don't really know, but I just love the vibe of a Sunday. Yesterday, I had the pleasure of attending this really, really cool house party, and it was like a Saturday fun brunch where we had mimosas and wine and some beautiful food that was made and brought in. But we also had a lot of cool things. Like we ended up making these vision journals. So it's like putting a vision board on the outside of a journal. And then she gave us like assignments to put on the inside of the journal, which is something I really want to incorporate in what we do together and in our exercise. So I will probably be doing that. I'll share more about this in the Blissful Living Lounge. It's the Facebook group. I will link it in the show notes, but that is a place where I'll share a lot of that stuff with you guys. So anyway, it was really, really cool. So we made these vision board journals, and I went and attended because I brought my jewelry, and I brought all the Love Ashlina stuff. I bought a ton of crystals to wear, and it was so fun. This is literally my favorite part of my jewelry business. It's just connecting with women, seeing what crystal they're drawn to, finding what that means in their life, what that says about them, and then letting them and guiding them to wearing the crystals that are right for them, and so that their energy can commingle and they can be stronger and powerful and manifest and attract what they want. Anyway, it was just a really good time. I loved meeting these women, but most importantly, I think my favorite part was creating these like vision journals, because I love the opportunity to make a vision board. And I decided to use this journal for this current meditation that I'm doing. I'm doing this 21-day abundance meditation. And I will tell you, it has blown my mind. It's been really, really amazing. But something I've really noticed in these meditations and what has come up for me was these thought patterns, like certain thought patterns of I'm not doing it right. And it really got me to thinking, how often do we let our thoughts hold us back from experiencing happiness? So that's what I'm going to get into today. I'm going to be sharing with you a couple of tricks and tips that I've decided to implement and that so far are working. We'll see how it comes at the end of the 21 day. But again, I will be doing this and talking about this in the Blissful Living Lounge, so you'll have to go there. Okay, so let's get into today's prayer. Deep breath. Dear God, universe, all that is, thank you for this day. Thank you for this opportunity to slow down, to be mindful, to take deep breaths and connect to our hearts. Allow our hearts to guide us. Allow our hearts to lead us towards the things that we want, towards the desires inside. Let our heart speak to us loudly, with passion, with soul, so that there is no confusion as to what our heart is saying. Again, thank you and amen. Okay, So with that, let's get into the episode. So during this meditation that I had, and I'm going to go back to one that I had last week, and it was before I was doing this challenge. It was at this studio that I go to here in Texas, and I'm in the meditation. It's a chakra balancing meditation, and I'm sitting there, and we're at the first chakra, because you basically meditate and think about, and focus on each of your different chakras and that energy. So after we had done the first chakra, we're going to the second. And in my mind, I just sat there and I was thinking about, oh wait, did I do the first one right? I don't think I unblocked that chakra. I didn't do it right. Maybe I didn't think on it hard enough or focus correctly. It was just like my mind was playing these tricks on me and just kept trying to get me to focus on how I didn't do the first chakra right. And so I was totally missing the time that we were going into the second chakra. Luckily, just from my work and reading and different things that I've been working on, I quickly noticed it, and I was quickly able to switch my mind to going, you can't do it wrong. You're not doing it wrong. There's nothing wrong. And I feel like it really led me to believe that's what our mind does to us. That's what our thought does to us. So if there's any time where we are about to step into our happiness or we receive something amazing, how often does it come? Does our mind come in and play a trick on us and say, that's not right. That's not for you. This is too good to be true. You're not doing it right. All those little pesky thoughts. And it's so interesting because as much spiritual work as I have done and as far along on my spiritual journey as I am, I still have these thoughts creep in and I still watch them hold me back. I'm able to overcome them much more quickly than several years ago, but they're really still there. And so it really spoke to my heart, and I knew I wanted to talk to you guys about how you could be holding yourself back from your happiness. And so, long story short, turns out at the end of the meditation, the teacher checks you and checks your chakras. So I did it all right. My chakras were fully open. My energy was open and aligned, and it was right, and it all worked out. But I sat there in that meditation doubting that I was doing it right or wrong. And I think sometimes we do this in life with anything we do. For example, there is this pervasive thought out there that we need to work harder, and hustle and be the first person to do this or that. And there's a lot of competition out there. There's just all these things where we feel like we're just never going to keep up. We have to strive harder. We have to work harder, read more books, do more content, do more challenges, and do, go. And we're just never going to get it right. Right? That's just that's what happens in our minds. And so we allow our minds to dictate the truth. So we believe it. We believe the mind's lies that, it's never enough. We're not doing it right. It can't be easy and it can't be good. So it was funny, in my first day of the 21-day abundance meditation challenge, at the end of the meditation, I just got these words really sink into my heart. And it was like my higher self telling me, you're doing it right. You can't do it wrong. It gets to be easy. It gets to be done easy and quickly and with no problems and just like that. And so I'm just getting all of these amazing downloads in my meditation, and I'm just thinking how often do we block ourselves from letting things be easy? So I'm going to share with you a little trick that I think you can have in your back pocket, and really try it today and see if you can allow yourself to have the happiness. To really just allow yourself to let things be easy. So, for example, I will share with you a situation that really makes me think about this. So I have a friend of mine who is looking to start a podcast, and she's got an incredible career, and she is nutritionist, and she's got yoga experience, and she's got baking experience. She's got all these amazing tools under her belt, and she has this business, but she wants to incorporate like a more personal side of herself and her business and create a podcast that's also local to our town. And she's wanting to come up with something. Well, she had this name on Instagram. She had gotten this like tag, this handle, and she kept it for a while thinking she wanted to start a blog. She didn't know what she wanted to do with it. And she came to me with help on the vision of it, the name of the podcast, the brand. And I was like, it really called out to me, why don't you just use your Instagram handle and name that you already have? And after like a little bit of talking, I finally kind of showed her exactly why and how we could brand it, and created the vision and the brand, which I love doing. Like branding is like my favorite thing. But at first, when she sat on her own and thought about it, it was like she had this feeling within her, like it can't be that easy. I have to think of something really smart and catchy and, that's not out yet. I haven't thought of, as if the thought or the inspired action wasn't already within her, as she already didn't know. So what do you do when you have situations like that where you feel like you need clarity on something, where you want to create something and you're just waiting for God to give you that inspired idea or the action piece or what it is that you need to do next? And it was actually within her. She actually was already holding it. God and, the universe had spoken to her over a year ago and already told her the name of her, something big for her, but she never used it. It was just sitting there. She didn't know what to do with it. So it was out of her head. It was almost like what she already had in her possession wasn't good enough to be that next big thing, that next right action. So how many times do we find ourselves feeling like, I don't know it yet. I haven't gotten that inspired action yet. Or my $1 million idea is not here yet. I'm still waiting for it. A lot of times, the thing that we are looking for is already within us, or it's already something we know. And sometimes if we just quiet our mind, if we get into the receiving mode, we're able to hear really clearly. And guess what? It gets to be easy. Like that $1 million idea, that brilliant idea she had already in her a year ago. It was time, like her time was aligning with when she needed to use it. She already had everything she needed. She just couldn't see. She kind of had that feeling like it needs to be harder. It's outside of me. I have to go find it. And I think that happens to us a lot of times in life, where we feel like, we're either doing it wrong, we're not doing it right, or we don't have it yet, or something else needs to happen before it's perfect, before it's, workable or worthy. And so I really want you to take this into your days and really be thinking about, in what areas of your life are you blocking your happiness by telling yourself you're doing it wrong? You're not there yet, you're not good enough yet, or God hasn't given you the miracle. God hasn't given you the inspired action step or the idea, because it's probably sitting within you. It could be sitting in a journal. It could be something you told your best friend that you just need to talk to her about. You never know. You really want to get yourself to open up to things being really easy and stop allowing your mind to tell you that things are too good to be true when they're easy, right? Or they have to be harder than it is. So one practical tip I'm going to give you today, which is something that I've been really trying to do ever since I got these downloads in my meditation, and that is paying attention to your thoughts, paying attention to what you're thinking, and shifting the thought. So for example, I want you to take this situation, and I'm going to have you ask yourself one question. So let's say you get in a fight with your husband or your parents or your child, something, and it feels really often, it feels like this isn't working. I don't like this. I'm not happy. This is making me mad or angry, or who knows, just like any kind of conflict, I guess. It could be your best friend. I want you to ask yourself, what do I really want to experience in this? Like, what do I really want from this? And then you can think, like if it's your best friend, you can think about this. I really want a best friend who shows up on time. I really want a friendship where that person hears me, listens to me, and understands me. Or I really want a friendship that X, Y, and Z. You take your conflict, you take the problem that arises, and you pull a question out of it. You pull like, what do I really want from this? Okay, so let's say you are having a difficult experience in work and you're really upset at your boss, you're upset about work, it's a conflict, there's something about it that's frustrating you and making you have unhappy feelings, or like it's not happiness, okay? So sit and ask yourself, what is it that I want from this work experience? What is it? What kind of work do I really want? And then locate it. Locate what will make you happy. Locate the thing. You should have an answer. Like for me, my answer would probably be like, I want, my work life, I want to heal the masses. I want to create things that create healing and happiness and bliss for people. And I want to make massive money doing it. I want to flourish. I want my bank account to flourish from it. Like, you really get into the truth of what it is that you really want, what would make you really happy. So that would make me really happy in my work life, right? And then when you decide what it is that you want, you start to look at it from a perspective of it should be easy. Like, it can be easy. Anything you really want in this life actually can be easy. It's only the limits in our mind and the problems that we focus on and the negative beliefs, the limiting beliefs, all that stuff that gets in our way, right? That's the stuff that keeps you from your happiness. So if you can make that small decision, like, you know what, it gets to be easy. I get to have that happiness, and start focusing on ways, ideas, and opportunities to bring that happiness. So if it's in your friendship and you figure out, you say, okay, so this conflict between myself and my best friend led me to realize that I really want more soul-filled relationships. I want a best friend that feels like a soul sister. And it gets to be easy. So instead of thinking about the conflict that you have with this particular person, shift your focus, your thoughts, and your attention completely off that individual. Like, just stop thinking about it completely. Do not allow yourself to go down the thought spirals and feel the feelings of the heartbreak and the upset that you're experiencing with that current friendship, and start visualizing, thinking about this imaginary new friendship that's amazing and loving and supportive and feels easy and happy and blissful. And as you tune into that new thought, like, it gets to be easy, this is exactly what I want from a friendship, and eliminate all the other types of thinking, you will open yourself up to that happiness. It is the law of attraction. It is the way that life works. When you go down those thought patterns and those trails of thought of, focusing on the problem and focusing on the bad things, sometimes it feels like you're accomplishing something because you get to focus on the problem, you get to be working hard to solve it, you get to overcome something, but that's not actually how life is meant to be. Life is meant to be easy. It is meant to be fluid and in flow and feel good, but you have to begin to train your mind to stop getting in the way of the things that you want, getting in the way of your happiness. Like, for example, when you meet a new guy, most of the people listening to this podcast, I'm assuming, are women, so I'll say girl, but boy, whatever you are, I want you to think about, you meet a new person. Let's say you're single, you're meeting a new person and you're like, oh my God, this is so exciting. I really like this person, and you want to allow yourself to go into the happiness of it all. How quickly do the voices of other people begin to come into your mind? Like, but he's not this, but he's not that. This could go wrong. That could go wrong. Maybe he's too fresh from his ex, or he's too this or that. All of those thoughts begin putting in your, like, where the bliss vibes only should be. Instead, you're going like way down. Negative vibes are overpowering the happiness that you could be attracting to you, because your thought process, all those subconscious and limiting beliefs, like, are just coming at you like karate chops, like bam, 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 bam. We're going to chop your happiness right out of you. So I want you to like put on your like warrior goddess armor and just stop allowing those beliefs to penetrate. The beliefs, the thoughts are going to come. I mean, they're going to be there. They're there. They happen. They'll probably happen till the end of our lives. But if you can build the muscle and you can really practice like catching those thoughts and not allowing them to penetrate your armor and really be able to take it down a different path. Now, I'm not telling you to just think positive, or, like a lot of people will say, just think positive, think motivated. And sometimes it's really difficult to see the positive side or think the positive thought when you're really kind of, it's just resistant, right? You can become resistant to thinking the positive thought. But what I'm asking you to do is not to pressure yourself and think the positive thought against it, or not try to suppress these like realistic voices or negative thoughts in your brain. Just don't let them attach to you. Don't like commit to going down that thought process and thinking about it for 10, 15 minutes. Or don't let yourself, get so emotionally attached to that thought that it affects your emotion and affects your day. You want to like hear the thought, like hear the negative thing, and just kind of decide to yourself, you know what? No, this gets to be easy for me. This gets to be easy for me. And try to just stay in that like neutral place. Just stay in that zone of neutrality. And eventually, after you get really good at not committing and not attaching to those like negative thoughts or the negative way, like this has to be hard, this doesn't work out for me, I don't think this is for me, all those things. Or this didn't work out for her, so why would it work out for me? That kind of thing. Just stay neutral. I'm not telling you to go, she won, so I can win too, if that doesn't feel right for you. If you feel that, go with it. Anything that brings you to a thought and a feeling of happiness or something better, go with that. Allow yourself to ride with that. It gets to be easy. You get to think about good things and they get to happen for you. But if you're having a hard time and you find yourself resisting the good stuff and the happiness, or, you've got some like conflicts going on, just get neutral. Just get neutral. Just don't connect with the thoughts that tell you that it cannot be easy, or that you are not good enough, or you don't already have everything that you need within you, or that God can't bring you what you need as soon as you ask for it. All I want you to do is to remember to stay away from the negative down spirals, from thinking that it has to be harder and then making that your truth, making that be the vibe you operate from. We are our goal here, right? We're going for a bliss, vibes, only state of being. And that means it gets to be easy for me. Things get to work out for me. I get 2 different bouquets of flowers from my boyfriend on Valentine's Day. And that I never really got flowers for Valentine's Day, like in my life, like maybe once or twice. And you get them and you think, it comes into my mind. It's like, wait, why am I getting, what's wrong? Something's got to be wrong here. And those thoughts come in, but you immediately have to shift and go, no, it's just, I really got lucky this year. And I got 2 beautiful, amazing Valentine, gorgeous rose bouquets. Actually got 3. And that's truly never happened for me. It was pretty big this year. So I have flowers everywhere. They're totally brightening my day. But it gets to be easy. It gets to be good. It gets to be fun. It gets to work out for you. It doesn't mean that things are wrong or things are bad. And the easier that we can kind of get neutral to these like rejecting thoughts and like things have to be tough, feelings, the faster things work out for us and the happier we become. So I know that today's episode is really intense and really a lot, but it is Soulful Sunday. This is a day of really working on our inner selves and really sitting there and making our lives better. And that's what I want to bring to you. That's what this space is really all about. So thank you for hanging out with me. Thank you for listening. go hang out with me in the Blissful Living Lounge on Facebook and tell me about what's going on for you. I love hearing from you. Also, I love 5-star reviews and comments and letting me know how you feel about the podcast. It's really, really fun to get feedback from you guys because it keeps me going. It lets me know what to talk about more of. And it's really fun because when you leave those comments and reviews, it allows more people to see me and the message to get spread farther and wider. So it's kind of like your act of paying it forward. If this is helpful for you, if this rings to your heart, and if it's really transformative, which that's my purpose. I hope it really is. Anyway, have a beautiful, blissful Sunday. Go get yourself some flowers. Get in the Bliss Vibes Only state today and see how your week turns out this week. I love you. Until next time, stay blissful.